You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we got some pretty big news today. Looks like we're going to have another special Monday stream because there have been a lot of deets dropped on the plot. Finally, something we've been waiting for. And I'm going to get into it right away. First thing, I want to pull up this poster here. This is a poster that I'm still not 100% sure if this is official or not, but even if it's fan artwork, I thought it was pretty cool to show. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. It's been circulating. I am being told that by some people that it may be the official poster for China, but I'm not 100% sure. So, but that's really cool. Lots and lots of things to talk about. Collider has apparently visited the set, or at least at some point visited the set. I shouldn't say visited recently. This is probably something they had to hold off on, you know, with the whole, you know, COVID and the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong has been delayed for so long. But we're going to get right into it. So I want to pull it up here. We're going to read through it. In March 2019, a group of fellow journalists and I went down to Brisbane, Australia to visit the set of Godzilla vs. Kong. For me, this was my third time visiting the set of a Godzilla movie, having previously done visits to the 2014 and 2019 King of the Monsters. I obviously needed to know how my chunky son, I don't know what the hell. All right, let's just skip this. I want to get to the deets here. Our day began by talking with producer Alex Garcia, and he outlined most of the plot. I won't do that here because clearly no spoilers, but by the time you get to the third act, but I'll give you the broad outline. The film takes place 5 years after the events of King of the Monsters. Godzilla has been reinstated. So now we know 5 years. All this time we were led to believe that it was going to be a year after what happened in King of the Monsters, but apparently it's 5 years have gone by. Godzilla has been reinstated as the apex predator, but he has been acting erratically, and Madison, Millie Bobby Brown, believes there's a reason for his actions. Monarch, reacting to global fears about the Titans, has been creating access to the Hollow Earth in an attempt to lure the monsters back beneath the surface and stern their rampage. An attempt to take Kong away from Skull Island brings him into conflict with Godzilla. While we will see the human side through Monarch, there's now an evil human company called Apex that is a megalithic organization doing some bad stuff. Interesting. Skull Island is what happens when the Hollow Earth comes to the surface. So in a way, Skull Island is like a prelude to the threat that could engulf the planet. As usual with these movies, neither Kong nor Godzilla is inherently good or evil. They're simply fighting for what motivates them. Madison works to investigate with the help of Josh, Julian Dennison, as well as former Apex technician Bernie Hayes, played by Brian Tyree Henry. So when we've spoken to Henry, we learned that Bernie is a bit of a conspiracy theorist and has his own podcast, but it's kind of shaped by tragedy since he lost his wife. So he turned in on himself to expose Apex. He feels like he saw the disaster coming, so he wants to help Madison and Josh bring down Apex, which is doing something to harm Godzilla, which in turn harms the planet. I feel like it's easy to call him a crackpot. It's easy to call him crazy guy, which he is, says Henry. But at the same time, there's a heart to him. There's this loyalty he has. He just wants to make sure the world doesn't get destroyed. So that's a little bit, there's more here. I want to go through this because there's also some very interesting screenshots here. Obviously, you see one here with Adam Wingard, Julian Dennison, and Millie Bobby Brown. But further, what's really cool is down here, we get a nice shot. You probably can't see it here, but I'll pull it up as a video. I'll pull up a closer shot as I continue to record the video. But apparently this picture right here is Ren Serizawa. This is supposed to be the head of King Ghidorah. And as you can see, it's wired up. It's got this dome thing here. Obviously, they're doing some crazy stuff. In the film, we meet Jaya, a child of Skull Island, who has been adopted by Dr. Eileen Andrews, who played by Rebecca Hall. Her look was based on the natives of Skull Island, the Iwi. while blending in with more contemporary pieces. So, for example, she's got a necklace made out of skullcrawler teeth, but she also wears Converse shoes. Cute. Everything for Jaya was custom made except for the shoes. The mission suit for the Hollow Earth has its own kind of special fabric. Also, as Monarch has now become more official, they have their own uniforms to give them an identity, and there are different levels of uniform within Monarch. Apex, comparatively, is more in grays and blacks. The color red is used sparingly in this film, and when it pops up, it's used as a symbol for a connection to the monsters. The coolest part of the Hollow Earth costumes is that they're custom printed with copper over the red that allows the red to come through when the copper. Okay. The armored part is made out of urethane, which is what they use for stunt padding. So he's giving some details on their costume. Everything goes through the process of aging, with the exception of Elsa Gonzalez's character, who gets a newer dashing outfit. With our visit in Australia came to a close, we still weren't quite finished. Director Adam Wingard wasn't available on the day we visited, but thankfully he made some time for us last week on the Zoom call. During the conversation, he talked about how the film is his way to settle a second grade argument had with a friend on the playground about who would win in a fight. Making sure the human side, whether they are Team Godzilla or Team Kong, always punches up the monster side of the story. He acknowledges that the directors who came before him in this franchise were able to put their unique stamp on their movies, and that's what he wanted to do with Godzilla vs. Kong. He sees the movie as a return to his roots, where the sci-fi action of movies like Terminator 2 and Aliens was a gateway to horror and becoming a filmmaker. He feels like his horror films helped prepare him because they've always had a bit of an action bent, like when he showed Face Off to his DP and You're Next. Even Death Note helped him get acclimated to using visual effects. He feels like one of the strengths of this film is that the audiences are now on board with both Godzilla and Kong, as opposed to something like Batman vs. Superman, where audiences didn't really know Ben Affleck's new Batman. That's true. When it came to crafting the action scenes, he always wanted to keep the terrain in mind and how the monsters would use it. Very cool. He never felt like he had to course correct Godzilla vs. Kong based on the reception of Godzilla King of the Monsters. That's cool. Now that we've reached the climactic battle of the Monsterverse, I'm sure that if there are any more Godzilla films in the future, although I certainly hope so, it's been a joy seeing how different directors have tackled this iconic character while trying to hold a place for him in a Monsterverse franchise so that we could get to Godzilla vs. Kong. Based on everything I saw, fans of both characters will likely get a kick out of this film and what Wingard has in store. As for who wins, we'll just have to find out next month. So, I mean, a lot of good stuff there. Again, we didn't go through everything. I'll leave the link in the description. I think the most interesting thing there is a couple of interesting things. Number one, 5 years later. Sorry, I'm over here messing with my mic. So it takes place 5 years later. That's a huge deal. That is huge. I mean, when you consider all this time, even myself, a lot of other people, we were under the assumption that it took place a year later. That is at least what was, I believe, unofficially said. And now this is 5 years later. So the monsters have been roaming the earth for 5 years. I'm really hoping even if we get some sort of look back as to what's been going on since King of the Monsters. Even if it's in the opening credits, even in the opening credits, if they're showing like monsters roaming the earth, different parts of the earth, causing destruction, whether directly or indirectly, I think that'll be an awesome way to open the movie. But again, we'll have to see. Apparently, it also sounds like Godzilla's been causing havoc even before this movie. It sounds like he's been attacking humanity sporadically going into this movie. So that's going to be another interesting thing to see. And then the Hollow Earth. So now we know Skull Island is officially a part of the Hollow Earth that is raised up. And now they're afraid something like this might happen and they want to prevent it. So there's a lot of things there. And again, we'll there's also some things I didn't read there. It's a very long article. Once again, I'll leave it in the description for you guys to check out. I usually stream Fridays and Saturdays, but this I think calls for a stream tonight because I don't want to wait a whole week to talk about this. I'm kind of excited to really kind of get into it and speculate and theorize as to what might happen. And I know you guys like to do that too. So I think we'll be streaming tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. and we'll peel through this, man. And once again, like I said, the picture, I'll pull it up here. Ren Serizawa obviously sitting in what is the skull of King Ghidorah, or at least that's what many of us believe right now in the early going. They did talk about King Ghidorah's skull in this article as well. I didn't go through it, but it is there because I read this before I started recording. But again, that was something that I think we all knew. They kind of alluded to Jonah getting the skull, or rather how he got the skull, the head at the end of the movie, and how that plays into it. They didn't get into too many details, but they did allude to it. But again, I just skipped over it because it's kind of something we all kind of guesstimated at this point. But again, check it out for yourself. It's good stuff. I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, I feel like every week it's a gift. You know what I mean? Every week it's a gift. But anyway, guys, be here tonight. We'll peel through this again. We'll kind of speculate. I think there's some pretty good information in here, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen this weekend at the IGN Fan Fest, because Adam Wingard will be there. There's rumors that we might get maybe a couple of new clips, so that'll be interesting. So Friday and Saturday, we're going to be streaming, probably camping on the stream until we get some of the deets. I think it's going to be happening Saturday. But either way, man, it's going to be another exciting week for Godzilla vs. Kong rolling into the month of March. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about all this new information we just got. And like I said, if you're available tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, come back, we'll stream, we'll talk about it. Should be pretty fun. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.